At the beginning of this story, we are shown Sara, who is living with her husband. Sara has divorced and separated from Sara. That is why she moved to a new city with her son, and the house she has come to is very close to the forest. And when Sara is going by car with her son, suddenly Sara, a woman, comes in front of the car. To save her, she pulls her car off the road. After this, Sara comes out of her car, and she sees that the old woman is standing in front of her. Sara says that you are fine, but that old woman. The woman does not answer Sara. The glass of Sara's car is broken, so she grabs her glass to move forward. But she sees that the old woman is looking at her son again and again. Sara gets very scared of her. That's why she quickly gets back into her car and leaves there, and Sara comes to her new house with her son, where her son gets scared after seeing the spider. Sara locks the spider inside a glass and takes it out. Sara's son says, "Why didn't you bring Dad with you? If he had been there now, he would have killed the spider." And after this, he kills the spider and runs towards the forest. Sara calls out to her son and helps him. She runs back, and when she goes inside the forest, she sees that there is a huge hole there. She doesn't understand who made the hole here. Before she sees him inside the hall, her son comes from behind. Later, she comes back home with her son. Then at night, she goes to a dinner party with her friends, where her friends tell her that in the city where she has shifted, there lives a strange old woman. Her friend is talking about the same old lady who had come in front of her car. Her friend says that her son used to study in my class, but he was not allowed to meet his mother, i.e. the old lady, and one day that old woman came to the school to take her son. After which the school people also expelled her son from the school because no one wanted that old woman to come inside the school again. After a few days, her son dies. It is said that she had killed her son in an accident. After hearing all this, Sara becomes very scared because that old woman is watching her son again and again. Now at night, when Sara is sleeping in her room, then she hears a sound from outside. When she goes downstairs and looks, the door is open. She sees her son in the house, but her son is not at home. This makes Sara very nervous. She goes out with a torch. She feels that her son has gone towards the forest. Hence, she also starts going towards the forest, and even after searching a lot, she does not find her son. Then Sara returns to her home, and while she is calling the police, she is approached from behind. She hears a voice, and when she turns on the torch, she looks back and sees her son there. But her son seems to be changed. The next morning, when her son goes to school, she goes to her psychiatrist because she went into depression. Her husband used to beat her a lot. After seeing the doctor, Sara goes to her son's school, and after picking him up, when she is going towards her home, once again she sees the same old woman with her. The husband is also there. Sara gets out of the car and meets her husband. The old woman moves towards her car and starts looking at her son very carefully, after which she says that this is not your son, and she looks at the window glass. But she starts banging her hands vigorously, and Sara gets very scared due to this, and the old woman's husband catches her. Sara takes her son from there and comes to her home, and now Sara is completely sure that she is very scared. There are things that the old woman knows about which no one else knows anything. That is why the next day she goes to meet the same old woman. But when she goes inside her house, she sees that someone has killed the old woman. Due to this, Sara gets very scared and has a lot of questions in her mind. That is why she goes to the old woman's house after her funeral, where she sees that all the mirrors in her house are covered with black clothes. After this, she meets the old woman's husband. The old woman's husband tells her that my wife has a unique strength. She used to tell anyone by looking at what was inside her. My wife also told me about my son, said that he is an old soul, and there is some shadow inside him. She always used to say that he was not our son. Sara asks her how he died. The old lady's husband says that he had an accident with my car, due to which Sara finds this strange because her friend told her that the old lady had killed her son. Sara returns home and finds her son's attitude changing day by day. Sara now eats the food she didn't like at all with great gusto. Sara doesn't like this. The next morning, while walking, she reaches a big pit where she finds a sleep toy, which belongs to her son. She comes home with that toy and tells her son, "I had forbidden you not to go near the pit in the forest. Still, why did you go there?" Hearing this, her son becomes very angry and pushes the dining table in front of which he was sitting towards Sara with great force. Although Sara survives, she is surprised to see her son's strength, and at night when Sara is in her room. Then she hears a strange sound coming from inside her son's room. She goes near her son's room, and when she looks from under the door, she is surprised to see that her son eats spiders and her son's body is strangely bent. Sara takes her son to the doctor the next morning. The doctor checks her son and tells Sara that her son is completely normal. Sara returns home with her son and is now convinced that what the old woman had said is completely true, that this child is not her son. The next day, Sara goes to her son's school for his function where her son is performing with all the children, and Sara sees that there is no expression on her son's face. He is looking at her and his voice is also very different. Sara gets scared after seeing this and runs away from there, and then her son's teacher comes along with her son. Sara comes home with her son. After this, she installs the camera in her son's room, and after some time when she checks its recording, she is completely sure. It turns out that it is not her son, so she takes the camera to the old woman's husband and shows him the footage from the camera, but he refuses to watch it because his wife told him some things because he doesn't want to see that footage. After all, he doesn't want the same thing to happen to his son and wife, so he breaks the camera. After that, Sara comes back to her house and says to her son, "Let's play your favorite game," but her son refuses to play the game with her. Sara says, "You are not my son. My son was not like that at all. You must be some evil shadow," after which her son would pick her up and throw her on the wall. Due to this, Sara becomes unconscious. When she regains consciousness after some time, she is outside the house where her son is digging a hole in the ground in front of her. After digging the hole, he wants to kill Sara, but then he becomes unconscious. Sara had mixed anesthesia in his food. Now after some time, Sara regains consciousness. Sara takes the child to the patient, after which she sees his face in a mirror, and when she sees his face in the mirror, when she sees it, she gets very scared because it is the face of a demon. Then her son comes to his senses and attacks her, but Sara somehow runs away and locks it and leaves. Sara goes to that hole in the forest. She is sure that her son is somewhere here, and when she goes inside, she starts sinking under the ground. There is a tunnel inside where Sara finds her son, who is still alive. Sara is here with her son. She wants to get out, but there are many creatures here who bring the child of someone's family here and take the form of this child and join his family, after which they destroy his entire family. The woman had recognized that her son, who was with her, was a demon, which is why she, along with her husband, killed her son. The whole town believed that the old woman had killed her son. That is why no one in the town knew them. Doesn't like that, although they killed Damon, he could not find his real son, but Sara found her son. Now Sara tries to get out of that tunnel with her son, and as soon as she is about to get out of the tunnel, a demon catches her hand and within no time takes the form of Sara. Sara hits her hand with a torch and somehow gets out of the tunnel with her son, after which she goes inside her house, and she takes out the keys to her car. Although the demand of her son's face is still locked in the basement, she gathers courage, brings the keys, and sets the whole house on fire, after which she drives away from that city with her son. She leaves. After a few days, it is shown that Sara has once again resumed her job. Her life has become completely normal and she sees her son riding a bicycle. She takes a picture of her son. Also, she has installed a lot of mirrors in the house because she is afraid that the creature will try to reach her son again one day or the other, and if they kidnap her son and take the form of her son, then he will destroy her. With the help of the mirror, she will be recognized because no creature can hide its real face in the mirror. And with this story ends here. I hope you liked this story.